In today's video, is it realistic to go from hanging around here where I was about 230 pounds and probably 20 to 25% body fat to this, to hanging around 10% or below body fat? Is that something that's optimal maintained? I got a great question and we're gonna answer it right now. All right, guys, so for today's video, we're gonna discuss the idea of how low body fat is maintainable. And the question comes from right here on my Instagram. So you guys ask me your questions. I love answering them. So I've been watching your content for years and appreciate all the great fitness advice. I've been working out for 16 years. I've been tracking my calories. I've gone down to 192 and noticed the back fat is coming off. My next goal is 185. Do you think it's a good idea to aim for? Also, do you think maintaining a look that is realistic for me? I did a DEXA scan and I said it was 7% body fat. Might not be 100% accurate, but I wanted to include the DEXA. And so what I did was, and this gentleman's at 5'11", 5'11" at 185, that is a jacked human. So 192, yeah, that is a lot of muscle. So I had to go see this in person. I'll put it on the screen here for you. Yeah, my man's got some muscle. So I think his claims are actually true. And so I want to talk to you about maintaining low body fat and what is realistic, because for me, it's been a moving target. I used to struggle with maintaining low body fat, but I think the reason is because when I was focusing on body fat loss early on in my career, it was always about getting leaner, right? And what do I mean by that? The day that I started fat loss, I didn't take a break from fat loss until I reached my goal. When I reached my goal, I was usually so fatigued by that process over months, mostly for bodybuilding competition, that I would just be like, man, I am done with this. I don't want to track my food. I don't want to do my cardio. I just want to mentally have a break from this. When you take that approach, and I think this is where we see a lot of body fat rebound, you see a lot of people that enter, like a fat loss transformation, and you see people do things a certain way and they get great results, and then you see them a few months later and they've kind of undone those results. I've since changed my entire philosophy as a coach. My goal, helping people who are, men over 40 that want to lose some body fat, women that are, interested in losing body fat. I coach a lot of competitors. And if you're interested in setting up a free consult, go to prophysique.com down below. I'll put a link. But my whole goal as a coach has been, it doesn't feel great to help somebody reach their initial goal if they can't maintain it, right? It's like, what good would it be if you help somebody become a millionaire if the next year they're broke again, right? So as a coach, I've learned the approach that helps people get to a body fat percentage that they want to maintain and then maintain it. And it comes down to this. It's very simple. Throughout the process of being in a caloric deficit, you need to take what I call diet breaks or recovery weeks. Now, this all stems from a study that came out of Australia a few years ago called the MATADOR study. When I started implementing periods of caloric maintenance, what I found was that athletes would actually respond super well. Now, what is a period of maintenance? Understanding that maintenance calories are not the same as when you started a diet. So that's where we run into problems. Let's just say you were maintaining your weight on 3,000 calories. You've been dieting for 2 months and now you're, at 2,000 calories and you've dropped a lot of body fat. Your maintenance calories are then not 3,000, right? They're probably 2,400. But what most people do is they go, I'm going to go back to maintenance, not realizing that that's a surplus. As a coach, checking in with my people every week, I'm looking at their calories, their activity, their steps, their cardio. I've gotten very good at going, okay, this is where we're at with our calories. We're going to bring them up slightly. We're going to bring our cardio down slightly. We're going to focus on maintaining for a week. We're going to restore things like energy, digestion, metabolism. A lot of people don't realize that thyroid function is highly related to how many carbohydrates we're taking. And so when people strip out their carbohydrates, they're going to severely negatively impact their metabolism, potentially even some other downstream effects in its performance in the gym, depending on your goals. But the idea is that by taking that week where we're no longer pushing the body to get leaner, we're saying, hey, let's just chill here for a week. It's like a slingshot. What do I mean by that? When we're in a fat loss phase, we are pushing our bodies. But when you take a recovery week, it's like you pull that slingshot back and you reset it to it was at the beginning of the fat loss phase, and then you're able to go propel forward again. So it does a few things. It helps you get leaner, but it also restores you metabolically to a set point that was earlier in the process. So by the time, if you've done this multiple times throughout the process, and again, the frequency with which you should do diet breaks is the topic that I've discussed in other videos. I'll say this, The more body fat you have, the less frequent. The less body fat you have, the more frequent. I could expand more on that if you guys are interested, let me know. So if you've taken 2 or 3 diet breaks along the way, what you learn is that you've gotten to a place where your body fat is where you want it to be. Now you know how to maintain it. So when you get to your place where, like you said in your pictures, you tested at 7%, can you maintain that? Well, you bring your calories up, you bring your cardio down, and you're maintaining that. Is that something you maintain? How is your sleep? How is your energy? Are you missing out on things like social life and things that you miss out on? So maintaining a low body fat is not as challenging as it is to get that body fat off. So really what I like to focus on is making sure that your goals align with your lifestyle. But I see no reason why people can't maintain a very lean physique. This is the leanest I've ever stayed with the least amount of effort. And it's because I've spent years learning how to diet, be flexible, approach my cardio in a way. I have a very specific cardio protocol that I feel is effective for helping me decrease and control my hunger while also helping me maintain and lose body fat as needed. I've talked about that at length in other videos. If you'd like another video on, the cardio that I prefer, let me know. But yeah, is it possible to maintain it? Absolutely. Depends on your lifestyle. I went to your page. You're a family man. So I feel like you've got the opportunity to eat well, get good sleep, and just stay in your lane and just have a great routine. For me, that's what it's been about. At 49 years old, my routine is very consistent. And I'll say this, I drink a lot less alcohol than I used to drink, and that's had a huge impact as well. All right, guys, hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.